Welcome to the Monday, June 13th, 2022 Hillsborough Township Board of Education meeting. In accordance with the State Sunshine Law of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Hillsborough Township Board of Education was provided on June 9th, 2022 to the Hillsborough Beacon and the Courier News. Can we please take roll?
Mr. Gillette?
Here.
Ms. Jackson?
Here.
Mr. Kidd?
Here.
Ms. Lanning Beater? Ms. Nurse? Mr. Oliver?
Here.
Mr. Rue?
Here.
Mr. Hio?
Here.
And Mr. Marini.
Here. We have a quorum. All right, now we'll take a motion to move into executive session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the bylaws of the laws of 1975 provide that the public body may exclude the public from that portion of a meeting of which the public body discusses certain matters which confidentiality is required as permitted in Section 7B of the Act. Resolved by the Board of Education of the Township of Hillsborough and the County of Somerset in the State of New Jersey as follows. 1, the matters to be discussed are professional service interviews for law firms, a personnel matter, and negotiations with Hillsborough Education Association, HEA. 2, the matters discussed in executive session shall be disclosed to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're now in executive session. We plan to return around 7:30. Thank you. All right, hello and welcome back to the Monday, June 13th, 2022 Hillsborough Township Board of Education meeting. We have now returned from executive session and we will take roll.
Mr. Gillette?
Here.
Ms. Jackson?
Here.
Ms. Kidd? Mr.
Here.
Kidd, sorry.
Here.
Ms. Lanning Beater?
Here.
Ms. Nurse?
Here.
Mr. Oliver?
Here.
Mr. Rue?
Here.
Mr. Hio?
Here.
And Mr. Marini.
Here, we have quorum. I have a cold tonight, so if I choke, don't be surprised. I'm okay, but try to make sure you guys can hear me. All right, so let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I would like to acknowledge the correspondence as listed. And we will move on to the committee reports. I think, Mr. Hale, you had a report.
Sure. I just wanted to let everyone know that the Municipal Alliance meeting was on June 10th, and we talked about the updates at the high school and just that, you know, the student assistance counselors, they're ending the year with about 10 groups of students, a lot of students dealing with anxiety, the upcoming finals at the high school. And also there will be summer hours for the student assistance counselors so that actually they'll be covering about 4 days. And I guess if you are interested, any student can go at the high school, and even they were talking about the middle school students who are moving up to the high school, that Mr. Pilardi, Gil Pilardi, and Rebecca Balaguer will be working, covering 4 days. I believe it's Monday through Thursday. So in addition, we talked about potentially advocating to the Board of Education for additional students assistance counseling positions over at Auten Road. And next meeting will be July 9th, open to the public, 9 a.m. at the municipal building. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hale. So I'm actually first do the superintendent's report.
All right, I have a couple of things to say, and then we have a couple of celebrations to do. So, the lockdown at Eris on Friday. I acknowledge that the lockdown on Friday was unsettling and that rumors are abounding regarding the incident. The lockdown was necessary as a means to ensure the students remained in their classrooms as the administration and police worked to de-escalate and resolve a situation that we did not want the children to see. Please know that at no time was there a threat by firearm or explosives or imminent danger to people or the building. We thank Chief McMahon for graciously agreeing to increase police presence at Eris, including during the carnival on Wednesday. Please be assured that the safety and well-being of our students is our paramount concern, and the students are safe. Exit survey. Our Office of Human Resources is conducting exit surveys of staff who resign and retire. Mr. Callahan also meets with those who would like to follow up or have an in-person exit interview. While we will be looking for actionable information from the exit surveys and interviews to attract and retain staff, it should be noted that on tonight's agenda, a number of staff listed are resigning or retiring for positive personal reasons: marriage and relocation, promotion for a spouse, relocating out of state, that sort of thing. The climate survey. The HEA and I worked closely and collaboratively together to create and disseminate a climate survey to the staff. Close to 50% of the staff has responded to the climate survey, and the responses present a demographically significant representation of employees throughout the district. While the survey will remain open to the end of the week, actionable steps have already been taken to address some of the themes that have emerged, and all employees are encouraged to add their feedback. It's a critical input in order to determine future plans. And with that, I would like to call up Mr. Roberto Lugo so that he can present the Seal of Biliteracy Student Recognition to our students who have earned Seal of Biliteracy.
Good evening, everyone. It's with great pleasure that we are recognizing the following students who have earned the New Jersey State Seal of Biliteracy. We offer in our high school, for those who may not know, we offer 7 languages. We are grateful and thankful to offer 7 languages at our high school. And in a total, we have 80 seniors who are graduating this year with this State Seal of Biliteracy. It's a great accomplishment. There are many who couldn't make it this evening, and we're thankful for all. But for those who may not know, the Seal of Biliteracy is an award given by the New Jersey Department of Education in recognition of students who have studied and attained proficiency in at least one language in addition to English by high school graduation. In order to earn the seal, students have taken an adaptive exam that tests them on the 4 domains of language: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Earning the seal means that the students have demonstrated that they can communicate in more than one language, and some of our students in more than 2 languages. We are thankful that we have played a small part in preparing these students to be able to communicate in an increasingly diverse world. I'd like to thank the teachers and administrators who have supported these students in their world languages journey. Also, to the Board of Education, thank you for your continued support of our program. And to the parents, thank you for encouraging your students to continue the study of another language. Without further ado, I'd like to begin recognizing the students. As we do have a number of students to call, please hold all applause until after all the names have been read. Students, when you hear your name being called, please come up to receive your certificate and stand behind me. We can start forming a line over there. I should also mention that if I did send out a form for those who would be coming tonight, and there may be a possibility that some did not fill out the form and are here tonight. So if I missed your name, please forgive me. All of the names are located in an attachment there that you could see online as well. So in the area of Mandarin Chinese, Morgan Hodorowski and Julie Tang. In French, Catherine Belt. Abhigya Gupta. Nicole Heyman. And Gauri Nair. German, Ayush Patel. Italian, Nathaniel Bonacci. Tanya Castro Benitez. Christina Rocco. For Latin, Melissa Dorler, Jonathan Strunk, and Derek Wang. Derek? And now for Spanish. As you see there, quite a number. Retiree Badan, Sindhu Palamarudan, Lohit Bashyam, Asher Dutta, Sanya Gol, Emmeline Griffiths, McKenna Groff, Claudia Guillen, Priya Halani, Nicole Hayden, Anusha Hussain, Akash Iyer, Dia Jasankar, Dia Kalavala, Trisha Kothavali, Elizabeth LeBouf, Ryan Lee, Madison McGowan, Gabriela Miliano, sorry. Angel Monge, Isha Parikh, Dia Patel, Anya Piria, Senadira, Rushil Sharan, Pele Townsend, Dev Trivedi, Ansh Tyagi, and Amy Wang. Congratulations to everyone who won.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, all of you. Guess this is photo op, or they can be seated. Thank you. Okay. Next up, we're going to have our recognition of our retirees. And so if my administrators can come up to the front. So I don't know if you all planned an order that you're doing this, because you all spoke with Kate. So she did not clue me in, and she's on vacation.
Ready for the exits, folks. Some nice thing.
The slideshow for all of our retirees is posted on the agenda, but tonight our administrators are going to say a few words for those who are here in the audience. You want me to put the slideshow up? Okay. Am I doing it in the order of the slideshow then? Aha, thank you. So, Hillsborough High School.
Okay, our first retiree recognition is Mr. Christopher Aleo, a physics teacher at Hillsborough High School. Chris has a genuine enthusiasm for physics and fosters the same in his students. He is quick-witted and tuned in. And last week at the retirement dinner, we did get an opportunity to hear that Mr. Aleo loves a good pun. So Mr. Aleo, you can come up and join everybody up here. Students thoroughly enjoy Mr. Aleo's presence in the classroom and has generated a lot of interest in the area of physics. And just in my 6 years here in Hillsborough Township School, we've seen the number of students engaging in physics instruction increase dramatically. So congratulations, Mr. Aleo.
Yes. Staying up there.
Next, we have Mrs. Beth Ann Moran. Mrs. Moran has been in the school district for a long time, first as an instructional assistant, then as a school counseling intern with our middle school counselors, and Mrs. Moran has been at the high school now for a number of years. I always say, and I did write, but I can actually just add the blurb here. Mrs. Moran is the most staunch advocate I've ever met for students, their families. Even in a time when I first met her, that was one of the things I was most impressed by. It's really, it's breathtaking how much she engages and how much she cares for the students and their families that she works with. We are definitely going to miss her. I especially and personally am going to miss talking with her. She does a lot of interesting things with food and eating, and we talk a lot about recipes, and I'm really going to miss that, so you're going to have to come and visit. Congratulations, Mrs. Moran.
Dr. Trabowski.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Trabowski. On behalf of the middle school, I have 6 retirees, and I believe 2 are here this evening. So I'm going to call up first Ms. Stephanie Corin. Stephanie, come on up. Stephanie is retiring from HMS as one of our Spanish teachers, and she has been a leading world language teacher in the department at the middle school now for quite a few years, mentoring new staff and developing our world language curriculum and assessments. And one of my favorite things that she does is coordinate our El Dia de los Muertos celebrations for all of our Spanish classes, because there's a ton of wonderful food and celebration with all of the kids, and she's been responsible for all of that. Her kindness, her generosity, her dynamic classroom is just known throughout the school, and we're going to truly miss Stephanie Corn. Congratulations, Stephanie. And next here this evening is Hilda Williams. Hilda, come on up. Hey. Hilda changed careers. She started off as an officer in the U.S. Air Force, and that's where she learned, yes. And she learned the value of precision and discipline in one's work, and she brought that to the classrooms of HMS as she taught literacy, and then later became the commander of our library media center as well in her last few years with us. And she takes on any challenge in the building. She cared for any of our students in the most difficult situations that they faced. You'd often see her working late at night in our school and even making house calls to make a difference with kids. And I describe Hilda Williams, she has a boundless spirit for life. And so I quoted words from I think one of her favorite poets, and certainly one of mine, Maya Angelou, who describes in one of her poems that she walks like she has oil wells pumping in her living room. And that describes Hilda Williams to a T. So congratulations, Hilda Williams, on your retirement.
Dr. Carey.
Good evening, everyone. First, I just want to extend a congratulations to all the retirees, those who are here this evening and those who couldn't make it. I have two individuals I'll be introducing. First, I'd like to ask Mr. Mark Angelone to come on up. So as Mark is making his way, we were so fortunate to have Mark join us in 2008 as a long-term sub, and the year after, he joined us permanently, and he's been a rock star in the instrumental music department since then. He is the consummate professional who not only tends to the needs of his students, but takes care of so many things around the school, from fixing broken instruments to assisting during bus dismissal, which we can't underestimate that. Thank you, Mark. To sharing his love of all things jazz related. Mark has brought joy to all who work with him and who learn from him in his class. Mark, thank you so much for the many years of dedication to the students and staff at Alton Road. You'll be greatly missed, and on behalf of everyone at Alton Road, we wish you all the very best in your retirement. And next, I'd like to ask to come up Ms. Donna Bidoff. As Donna is making her way up, Donna joined Alton Road in 2011 as a grade 5 math and science teacher. And prior to that, for several years, she was an instructional assistant and went back to school behind the scenes after hours. So when she finally got that certification, she joined us at Alton Road, and she was with us for 11 years. Donna has always had her students' best interests at heart, and by exhibiting such a strong commitment to their social, emotional, and academic needs. Her love of nature always shone through, and she helped to start an outdoor club, the Alton Road Goes Green Club, also, as well as many after-school activities and events for staff, such as trail walks and hikes. Although she has already started her retirement, she departed in December. I know that she's staying busy, spending much time with her grandchild, and certainly, being with the family for so many years. We greatly miss you, Donna, and we know that you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful opportunity in your next phase of your life, and wish you all the very best, Ms. Donna Biddle.
Dr. Milady.
Good evening. On behalf of Amsterdam School Community, I'd like to congratulate all the retirees and thank you for your service to the district. First of all, I have 3 retirees this evening. I'd like to introduce Trisha Crane. It's kind of odd to see Tricia behind me because for the past 17 years, she's been right beside me. She's been my partner in crime. And only good things, though. Tricia Crane has been the face and the heart of Amsterdam School for 24 years. Her welcoming manner, compassion for all, and exceptional skills have truly set her apart from the rest. She is the ultimate professional whose diligence and competence have tremendously added to the successful everyday workings of Amsterdam School. She runs a tight ship with earnest tenacity and effortless grace. The countless students, families, and staff members who have depended upon Tricia to escort them through their years at Amsterdam School knew that they had someone who cared and whom they could count on. She will be greatly missed by the Amsterdam School community. Thank you, Tricia, for everything. Next, we have Gina Simbalista, who stood beside Tricia. Gina worked for Amsterdam School as a lunch aide and a clerical assistant. In both capacities, she gave her all every single day. No matter the task, big or small, Gina completed it flawlessly, always with a smile. Her can-do attitude combined with her stellar execution and impeccable organization helped Amsterdam School run smoothly and efficiently. Above all, her concern for others and tireless dedication to the Amsterdam community defined a wonderful work ethic. Thank you so much, Gina. And last but not least, we have Terry Palmisano. Terry is an instructional aide at Amsterdam School, and she works in our LLD grades 1 and 2. And to see her in the classroom is like seeing magic happen. Warm-hearted, Terry's compassion and care are her claim to fame. She enriched the lives of children and staff she encountered with her nurturing and helpful manner, her artful skills, and her child advocacy expertise. Kindness and skillfulness encompass everything she's done and all that she is. Always there for everyone who needed a shoulder or an ear, her strength of character made her well-respected and a very most valued member of the A team. Congratulations, Carrie.
And Dr. Milady, do not go too far, because Dr. Milady is also one of our retirees this year. Dr. Milady started her career in Hillsborough as a leave replacement in 1987. She was then hired as a kindergarten teacher before becoming a vice principal at Alton Road Intermediate School. And then she was appointed principal at Amsterdam Elementary School in 2005, right before I came. It seems like a lot of people came in 2005. Dr. Milady has led Amsterdam School with style and grace, and you can see that tonight. Making a difference in promoting the academic success and well-being of the students. She has been the wind beneath the wings of the Amsterdam staff and students, and that is the reason the Amsterdam Eagles soar. Thank you so much, Mary Ann. Mrs. Eckstein.
I also want to extend my my congratulations to all the retirees. Congratulations. Just think, you'll look even 10 years younger when we see each other again. I would like to introduce Carol Cropley. Carol Cropley has been teaching for 33 years. And talk about a person who is forever young. If there's something fun happening, Carol is there. So I have a few words about you, Carol. Dedication, right? I love it. Dedication, passion, 100% heart, and all with an incredible sense of humor describes our Mrs. Cropley. Carol's knack for understanding what each learner needs and then teaching strategies needed for success is unsurpassed. She holds student expectations high and creates learners who are ready to take on the next grade and beyond. Her enthusiasm for teaching is mirrored in her students' gained love for learning and their only "I got this" attitude. Mrs. Cropley will be missed, and tonight it's my pleasure to celebrate her long career as well as the beginning of her next adventures. Carol, you're going to be missed.
Mr. Alaperty.
I too just want to congratulate all the retirees and thank you so much for your service here in Hillsborough. And with that, I would like to ask Teresa Baricelli to please come on up. Teresa serves as one of Triangle School's academic support instructors. She is an example of a true educator, and her passion for teaching students across the school is immeasurable. Teresa is her students' biggest cheerleader, and I am not just making that up. She is, for sure, the biggest cheerleader at Triangle School, always motivating them to try their best and to never give up. We will miss Mrs. Baricelli's energetic personality and excellent teaching style at Triangle School. Thank you so much.
And Dr. Kerrigan.
Good evening, everyone. I also want to extend a congratulations to so many wonderful years of service for the kids, and there's no thanks big enough. So congratulations and thank you. Woodford has one retiree, Amy Reagan. Please come on up. This was a hard one because I was limited in the number of characters that I was allowed to write. So I came up with that Mrs. Reagan has had an amazing career and that her knack for making learning fun and making it challenging has bettered the lives of hundreds upon hundreds of students. She'll be remembered for her dedication, her drive, and I was running out of space, and that made me think that while I was limited in what I could say about Mrs. Amy Reagan, she's limitless. She has a limitless and endless love for students, a passion for what she does, the care that she shows to her colleagues. She's limitless. She's without limits, and for that, Amy, we thank you. I thank you, and wish you all the best.
We seem to have one more, and I think it might be transportation, and Bianca Kozik?
No?
Nope. Okay. Well then, another round of applause for all of our retirees. Thank you so much for your years of service, and we wish you all the best.
You can approve the minutes without me. You can approve the minutes without me. All right.
10th grade. So we're like guidance counselor to all high school. And Mr. Leo was my physics teacher at senior year.
Are we good? All right, we will continue. So I'll just jump back to the president's report. This will be pretty quick. I do want, for anybody who has not seen the email, has not seen the 17 Facebook posts, we have engaged a search firm for the next superintendent of schools. For those who are interested, there will be two town halls. One will be tomorrow in person in this room, I believe, the cafeteria of Aughton Road. And then, Wednesday. What's today's Monday? Today's not Tuesday? All right.
No, yeah.
So on Wednesday, June 15th in Aughton Road. And then the following Tuesday, June 21st, there will be a virtual. So for those that wish to attend in person and discuss in person, we suggest you come this week. For those that do not wish to attend in person, there will be a virtual. In addition, there is a survey that's available. You can both attend and fill out the survey, and that survey will be open until June 25th. So if you're going to fill out the survey, please do it prior to that date. And that is the end of my president's report. All right. So we'll move on to the approval of minutes. All right. There will be a motion to approve 9.1 and 9.2, motion to approve executive session minutes from 5/9/22, and motion to approve public minutes from 5/9/22. Can we get a motion in a second?
Second.
Any discussion by the board on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll now move to public comment. We very much welcome input from the public. During board meetings, there will be two 30-minute periods of time that the meeting will be open for public comment, where members of the public are invited to comment, which they may do if they are attending in person. During the first public comment period, members of the public may comment about items that are listed on tonight's action agenda before the board votes. During the second public comment period, members of the public may comment on any school or school district issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the school district as per bylaw 0167. Before you state your comment, you'll be asked to provide your name and address. There's a 3-minute limit on public comment. Please understand that our public forums are not structured as question and answer sessions, but rather are offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. In an instance where the board believes there is a misunderstanding or inaccuracy, the board president or superintendent will address the comment. There may be times when a member of the public makes a comment or asks a question about personnel or hiring decisions. Kindly note that the Open Public Meetings Act and the privacy rights of public employees encompassed therein do not permit the board to discuss personnel issues in public session. If you are coming up for the first public session comment, please state the action item agenda item that you are speaking to, and we will open that now.
Amy Regan, Woodfern School. Action agenda is retirement. I just have a couple words that I would like to share. I started in Hillsborough at Woodfern at age 23. I began in kindergarten and was excited as can be. Principal Joe Thompson made it like a family, and we had freedom to teach so creatively. 11 years in kindergarten, then first grade at HES, I've worked with teachers that are absolutely the best. We've celebrated weddings, babies through thin and thick, and we've cried together at funerals and times of being sick. So many wonderful families that I got to know, and now I'm teaching students' kids. I guess it's time to go. I have gone full circle and am back at Woodfern, thanks to Dr. Carrigan. I can say goodbye and farewell, just where it all began. And I just wanted to say thank you. It's been 36 years, and I hope to the board that my wish is that you can pass on and value the teachers and the great colleagues that I work with every day. There's so many fantastic people. But for my 36 years, thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Good evening, Reverend Rodney Williams, 101 Everett Close. I wanted to speak just quickly to the President's report. You mentioned that there will be meetings come up. Can you say a little bit more about what the intent of those meetings? I tried to find them on the Facebook, and I could not find them there, because we talked just a moment about that, please.
Thank you. I'll just wait for see if there's any more comments, then we'll address that. Okay. All right, so we'll close the first public comment period. The meetings that we're running over the next couple of weeks is to gather feedback basically from the community on what is important as we look for a superintendent. So we're going to be using those sessions as input sessions, and we will then work with the hiring firm to kind of set our baseline and what we're going to look for the next superintendent. That's generally what it's about. And it's being run by the firm, so not by us. So there's an independent collection of individuals that will gather that input. Thank you. All right, so I guess we will now move on to the action agenda.
Okay. The acting superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the action agenda as follows, 11.1 through 11.9. Motion to approve professional travel-related expenses. Motion to affirm the superintendent's harassment, intimidation, and bullying HIV determination, for the attached cases. Motion to approve curriculum writing and common assessment development. Motion to approve professional development for curriculum writing. Motion to approve submission of amendment for the fiscal year 2022 and accept transfer of funds within the elementary and secondary education ESEA grant. Motion to approve summer school staff for 2022. Motion to approve participation in the Sustainable Jersey for Schools certification program. Motion to approve staff for the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund 2, ESSER 2, Music Ensemble Learning Acceleration Program. And motion to approve policies and regulation for second reading.
All right, can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion by the board? Okay, if seeing none, we'll take roll.
Mr. Gillette,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Kidd,
Yes.
Ms. Lonning-Beater,
Yes.
Ms. Nurse,
Yes.
Mr. Oliver,
Yes.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Ms. Trujillo,
Yes.
and Mr. Marini.
Yes, motion passes.
All right, thank you. The acting superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the human resources agenda 12.1 through 12.20 as follows. Motion to approve resolutions. Motion to authorize acting or interim superintendent to affirm appointments of non-administrative personnel. Motion to approve retirements and resignations. Motion to approve revised leave replacement teacher. Motion to approve revised six-period coverage and science lab coverage. Motion to approve a contract changes. Motion to approve transfer change and assignment for the 2022-2023 school year. Motion to approve stipend payment for earning a doctorate degree. Motion to approve leaves of absence. Motion to approve intramural advisors for 2021-2022. Motion to approve appointments for 2021-2022. Motion to approve appointments for 2022-2023. Motion to approve renewal of personal nurse/aide for 2022-2023. Motion to approve renewal of tenured HPSA staff. Motion to approve renewal of custodian and maintenance staff for 2022-2023. Motion to approve renewal of transportation staff 2022-2023. Oops. Motion to approve extended school year program staff. Motion to approve transportation staff summer hours for 2022. Motion to approve extra coverage. And motion to approve student educational specialists for 2022-2023.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Question.
We'll do the.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
On 12.12, there's one teacher here that is pending receipt of New Jersey teaching certificate. So how does that work? When do the teaching certificates come in? And
Sometime over the summer. My guess is she's a recent graduate and in May, and so it has to be processed. So, correct.
I'm sorry, I did not hear the question.
The pending receipt of New Jersey teaching certification. My guess is she's a brand new teacher.
Always there if it's a new
process. But yes, what type of public service?
So she's graduated, she has certification, state just has to process it.
Ms. Jackson, any further questions?
No, just curious. And any other questions about the literacy content we could take up in education?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Any other questions for the board? Comments? All right, seeing none, we'll take roll.
Mr. Gillette,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Kidd,
Yes.
Ms. Lanning Beater,
Yes.
Ms. Nurse,
Yes.
Mr. Oliver,
Yes.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Hale,
Yes.
and Mr. Marini.
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you. The acting superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the operations agenda as follows: 13.1 through 13.7. Motion to amend the Sodexo Food Services Management Contract Renewal for 2022-2023 school year. Motion to approve out-of-district placements for the 2022-2023 school year. Motion to approve transportation contract renewals with Valcheck for 2021-2022 school year. Motion to approve transportation contracts for 2021-2022 school year. Motion to approve transportation contract renewals with Montauk Transit for the 2022-2023 school year. Motion to accept donation. And motion to approve the policies and regulation for second reading.
Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion by the board? All right, seeing none, we'll move to roll.
Mr. Gillette,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Kidd,
Yes.
Ms. Lanning Beater,
Yes.
Ms. Nurse,
Yes.
Mr. Oliver,
Yes.
Mr. Rue,
Yes.
Mr. Hale,
Yes.
and Mr. Marini.
Yes, motion passes. Thank you. We'll now move on to the second public comment period. We very much welcome input from the public. During the board meetings, there will be 2 30-minute periods of time that the meeting will be open for public comment. Members of the public are invited to comment, which they may do if they are attending in person. During this second public comment period, members of the public may comment on any school or school district issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the school district as per bylaw 0167. Before you state your comment, you will be asked to provide your name and address. There is a 3-minute limit on public comment. Please understand that our public forums are not structured as question and answer sessions, but rather are offered as opportunities to share your thoughts with the board. In instances where the board believes there is a misunderstanding or inaccuracy, the board president or superintendent will address the comment. There may be times where the member of the public makes a comment or asks a question about personnel or hiring decisions. Kindly note that the Open Public Meetings Act and the privacy rights of public employees encompassed therein do not permit the board to discuss personnel issues in public session. We are now open for public comment.
James Stats, 101 Devonshire Court, Hillsborough. First of all, happy Flag Day Eve. And I'd like to thank or congratulate the retirees. A sobering fact is that one of them was a former student of mine, Pat Donnelly. But I'm mostly here to talk about the Memorial Day Parade. On Saturday, May 28th, Hillsborough held its Memorial Day Parade and ceremony. I want to acknowledge and thank some Hillsborough School District groups who marched in the parade, including the Hillsborough High School Running Raiders Unified Track and Field Team and the Pride of Hillsborough Raider Marching Band for marching and performing in the parade. In spite of the uncomfortably humid weather, they participated not for their own glory, but to honor Hillsborough and our country, to honor those who have served our country, to honor those who are currently serving our country, but mostly to honor those who have died serving our country. The Hillsborough High School Raider Band then played their moving rendition of the Star Spangled Banner, as well as other patriotic songs at the ceremony at the Municipal Complex. The Hillsborough High School Raider Band has marched and performed at almost every Memorial Day parade and subsequent ceremony. So thank you to the staff and students of the Hillsborough High School Running Raiders Unified Track and Field Team and the Hillsborough High School Raider Band.
Thank you for your comments.
Heather Larico, 23 Bloomingdale Drive. Within hours of the school shooting at Robb Elementary School on May 24th, parents of Hillsborough schools received an email from Dr. Feltry. While I am sure that this message was sent with the best of intentions, this email absolutely infuriated me. Why? Because rather than take proactive steps to protect our children, staff, and community, the path of least resistance was again embraced. I was assured that my child, a high school senior, would be safe attending school the next day. I was also provided resources to help explain to my child that 19 children and 2 teachers had been murdered, yet we debate putting a warning label on a summer school reading book. This was not the first email I have received just this year as a parent in response to an act of school violence or threat of school violence. Each time I have been asked to monitor my students' social media, see something, say something. In response to rumored threats, I have been assured that school is a safe place for my child to be. But the reality is, I cannot in good conscience tell him that. I cannot in good conscience continue to read these emails without yet again requesting that the district take a more proactive approach. As I have shared with the administration and board in the past, the district is missing the opportunity to normalize conversations about gun safety and to urge parents and the community to take responsible actions to prevent gun deaths and injuries. The Be Smart program, which I have shared before, offered through Everytown for Gun Safety and Moms Demand Action, provides resources to raise awareness about gun storage that can save children's lives. In the past, the district has been uninterested in facilitating this important discussion in our community. I hope that the board and administration will realize that Hillsborough is not a bubble. There is nothing that will make our children and our staff magically immune to a bullet. I recognize that schools have been under incredible pressure, particularly in the last few years. Between the pandemic, attacks on diversity and equity initiatives, attacks on our LGBTQ community, the deliberate spread of disinformation and misinformation, many times at these meetings, the district may be uninterested in facing this issue head on. If any of you attended the Somerville March for Our Lives rally this past Saturday, organized by 2020 HHS graduate Isabella Dutta, you would see they do not have the luxury of allowing the adults to keep their head in the sand. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Michelle Albanese, 120 Taylor Ave. Good evening. I'm standing before you tonight and I'm extremely angry and upset about the event that occurred Friday at Aris. My children have been in this school district for the last 6 years, and you have yet to be transparent about any issue. This community is sick and tired of you letting these actions happen, and nothing but a vague email to the parents is sent with no explanation. I am also sick and tired of one person being allowed to disrupt meetings, people's lives, and our children. I am sick and tired of us all taking a back seat to this person because of your fear of the next lawsuit. Well, the parents of this community can do the same thing, and the sad thing is ours will stick. You sit here and you say nothing. You have done nothing, and you will continue to do nothing. I am ashamed at the administration of the district and everyone who has let this happen. These children are the most important part of this district. Without them, the teachers have no jobs. Without them, all of you have no career and no seat on this board. We have disgraced this town and these children with your continued lack of planning and your ability to hide everything and act like nothing happened. What if the situation was worse? You used what if for the masks, and now you will use what ifs for this. Our children's lives are at stake. These teachers' lives are at stake. And all of you did was amplify the situation by letting one person continue to make bad choices with no repercussions, but that's going to stop tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Is there any other individuals that want to make public comment?
Hi, my name is Leisha Gaber-Bayless. I live in Hillsborough on Huff Lane. I just wanted to highlight that Triangle will be offering CAP this year. That's Children at Play for the first time in several years. Thank you so much for approving that tonight.
Thank you for your comment. Any other individuals wishing to make public comment? All right, seeing none, I will open it up to the board for any comment. Mr. Gillette?
Thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate all the retirees as I get closer to that age. Not that I wish the best for them and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. I want to change gears a little bit. As board members and interested parents and students are well aware, we do not run the National Honor Society activity or club at the high school this past school year. I want to thank the administration and Dr. Feltry for trying to get out in front of questions that parents had about the reasons for this by conducting a webinar a couple of weeks ago, sort of a roundtable discussion over the internet with some high school principal and some of her administrators where people could listen in and actually watch and ask questions and hopefully get some answers. That webinar was recorded, and I did watch it just a few days later, I think, and I hope other board members watched it. I know some did. And while I thank you for trying to get out there in front of it, I'm dismayed that I believe it wasn't entirely accurate in many respects. A narrative was put forth during the webinar that overall narrative that it's difficult to find one advisor for a large club activity like National Honor Society for a $2,300 stipend. It was said a couple of times during the webinar, but that's not the stipend. And I asked Mr. Acker to find what the stipend is for the advisor. Did you happen to find that, Mr. Acker?
Yes, there's a stipend of $3,234, and that's for the upcoming contract.
So
that's in September.
$3,234 is the stipend. And I believe there are also 5 other stipends associated for 5 other individuals to help with National Honor Society. Do you have that information also?
Yes, their stipend is $552.
All right, so this, contrary to a narrative being expressed that it's difficult to find one person for $2,300, it might be difficult to find one person. And for $2,300, I think it would be. And I think many of the parents, and you could tell from their questions, which the parents typed in questions, and we were able to see a print. Board members were able to get to what those questions were. I don't know if that's available to everyone, but we received a list of the questions that people asked. And from the questions, you could get the idea that, yes, parents were very sympathetic to one person taking on a tremendous activity for $2,300. But that wasn't accurate. It's over $3,200, and there's 5 additional stipends available for that. So I don't know what's going on here. And I would hope that, that I'd like to extend the opportunity. Let's put it this way. I'm looking right at the attorney. So I'm going to say it like this. I wish to extend the opportunity for the administration to take another stab at this, for putting out some type of fact sheet with the real facts of what stipends are available for an advisor for National Honor Society, and maybe some other reasons why we didn't have it next year. And also want to just reiterate, the elected board at least made no decision not to have National Honor Society. We never discussed it at any committee or anything. We've never discussed not having it. It's my contention, I guess, or inference or whatever, that if an advisor could be found, that we certainly would have it. We're not, I don't think that we've ever discussed or no, Dr. Felcher or any other administrator has never told me, or I don't think any other board member, that we're just going away from National Honor Society regardless. I just think, I like Dr. Felcher or someone to take another try at this, maybe by putting out a fact sheet about, with some corrections. Thank you. That's all I have on that.
Thank you, Mr. Gillette. Mr. Hill?
So I wanted to comment too on Mr. Gillette's comments about National Honor Society. When I watched this webinar, I was surprised. I had assumed that it was going to be just a reiteration, a recap, and it was going to be fine. And Mr. Gillette had encouraged the board to review the webinar. And when I did, in addition to the points that Mr. Gillette brought up, the The National Honor Society has a faculty council, so it's a lead advisor from my understanding, and then 5 staff members that would be part of the 6-member council, which of the lead advisor would be part of. And those faculty council members would be paid $552 in the current contract. So it is something that I think Mr. Gillette, you had said before that, you would be open to offering if one or more advisors would want to take on the additional stipends. But I think in this particular case, that's not possible. Although we have done it in other clubs such as robotics, when we could not find an additional advisor, we have allowed, is that correct?
Well, I think we had a private conversation about this, I believe, and that I made the suggestion that, I know, for instance, with sports like swimming, we had one person take multiple stipends, things like the theater department we've had in the past. We have stipends for different aspects of the musical theater production, and we've had one person take multiple stipends. And look, we're not running the districts. That would have to be something that Dr. Felcher would have to think about. And if it couldn't be, look, the precedent is there within the contract for one person to take more than one stipend. So certainly, if it took one person at $3,200 and a second person at I'm trying to do math fast, $2,750, with picking up all the other stipends, I don't know. That's just a suggestion.
Right, and I think that's something that's important for the district to look at. I mean, I think that from the questions that the parents had put on during the webinar, it is something that's important, despite the reasons to the contrary that why it's not important for college applications. I think it is important for the students in our district. So I too second what Mr. Gillette had, taking another stab at this. I was not satisfied with that webinar.
Thank you, Mr. Rue.
One additional comment in the same seminar, there's a lot of issues or references to the credibility and the accuracy, and it was referenced like a cheating aspect to the qualification aspect, and I would like to definitely get some follow-up and some clarity on that, because it didn't sit very well that there was a disqualification percentage that was relatively high. So we have to address some of that concern with the same thing. It was a lot more questions than answers, I think, were raised from the seminar, and I think the honesty aspect of the credibility aspect, that needs to be validated as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rue. Any additional comments from the board? Mr. Oliver.
So I would just like to echo comments of my fellow board members. I think National Honor Society is an age-old tradition, and we need to really turn over every stone when we can to try to keep that club alive. But I don't want Mr. Gillette to steal my thunder. I want to congratulate all the retirees as well this evening. And I'm a little late in this, but I want to share a quick story. Greg always says story time with John. But my youngest, who was a kindergarten student at Amsterdam, and then moving into first grade, I was approached by Dr. Milady, who said she's not ready for first grade. We have this great TP program that she would thrive in. And I was adamant, she's just a lazy student. She needs to go into first grade. She needs to be pushed a little bit. And after a week of her crying and coming home saying, I can't do it, I went back and I pleaded with Dr. Milady, because she said, we're going to give this spot to someone else and it's going to be hard to get her. I didn't have to plead with Dr. Milady. She put her back in the TP program instantly. So, that was 14 years ago. So if you don't think the teachers and the administrators in this district don't care or don't really care about our students, you're wrong. They all do. We've got some great teachers in this district, and I want to thank Dr. Milady for doing that 14 years ago.
We're going back over there. We are. All right, so thank you, everybody. We are going to make a motion to move back into executive session. We will not be coming back out to public session. We will be adjourning the meeting from from executive session. So let me read this. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the laws of 1975 provides that a public body may exclude the public from a portion of the meeting of which the public body discusses certain matters for which confidentiality is required as permitted in Section 7B of the Act. Resolved by the Board of Education of the Township of Hillsborough and the County of Somerset and the State of New Jersey as follows. The matters to be discussed are the acting superintendent's evaluation. We also will continue discussion on the appointment of legal counsel, and we will discuss the recruitment effort for the new superintendent. And 2, the matters discussed in executive session shall be disclosed to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Mr. Marini, I did not hear, did you add the part about the consultant firm that we would?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
We did. All right, so with that, I will take a motion in a second.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will see you in a couple weeks.